Hi everyone, Denise from Salvaged Inspirations, and welcome back to my channel. I have a really fun restore dresser makeover for you today. So I'm hovered over it right now. I thought I would do my intro. Actually, I forgot to do my intro, so I'm sniffing up Bondo fumes here. Just let me get set up and I'll be right back. Let's start. Here's the fun part. Are you a fan of black and white furniture? It's a really striking look, and it may feel intimidating to try, but it's easier to pull off than you might think. It really doesn't have to be all or nothing. Today I'm sharing 6 inspiring black and white do-it-yourself ideas that will help you create your own black and white dramatic furniture makeovers. I can't wait to share how one of these DIY ideas turned this restored dresser into a stunning black and white floral piece. I found this plain dresser at my local restore and it was selling for $60. Not a bad deal really, because I've noticed that thrift store prices here in Toronto are on the rise. So I'd be very curious to hear what they're doing in your area. I forgot to mention on my blog post that went out for this piece last Tuesday that they actually discounted me $10 off the price of this piece because I ended up buying 2 dressers, not just this one. So I started by going through all the drawers and removing the drawer liners, which was actually Christmas paper. It was like Christmas all over again. But I have to admit, I love finding any sort of drawer liners within drawers because it means that the prior owners wanted to keep it clean. And 99% of the time, if I find a piece with drawer liners, the drawers are in excellent shape. So that's something to look for when you're out hunting for pieces. Once the drawer liners were removed, I moved on to removing the old original hardware. I always keep old hardware. I have containers that I just put them in, even if they look really ugly. Because you know what? You never know when you're going to find a perfect piece to use them on. And with a little bit of gilding wax or a little bit of paint, these old hardware pieces can turn into something fabulous. So make sure you hold on to all your old hardware. A great tip when working with your furniture, if you're able, lay it on its back. Just lay it on the floor. This way you get a totally different vantage point. And here I laid it on the floor and I'm able to vacuum the inside and not miss a thing because I can actually see everything. Once all the cobwebs and dust was removed, I went on to giving this piece a really good cleaning with White Lightning, which is a TSP substitute. Once this dresser was all cleaned and dried, I mixed up some Bondo to fill in the hardware holes and also for some repairs, which I'll get to a little bit later in this video. Bondo is my go-to for these types of tasks. The reason being is it is a huge time saver for me. I can actually mix the Bondo, apply it into the hardware holes and or repairs, and within 10 minutes, it will be dry and ready to sand. An even bigger bonus is that it dries super hard and durable. I have a full video on how I use Bondo that I will put up in the cards above, and I'll also include it in the description below this YouTube video. Once my hardware holes were filled, I moved on to the repairs. As you can see, the veneer was flaking off and not adhered properly at the bottom sides of this dresser. To fix this loose veneer, I take a metal putty knife and I actually remove all the veneer that is not adhered. This is really easy to do because as you can see, it just pulls right up very easily. To make sure I get up to the area of the veneer that is adhered 100%, I use a craft knife and I just score the veneer and then I take it off and I double check that the left on veneer is adhered 100% before I start filling this area. Using the same metal putty knife, I just apply Bondo to the area and overfill it. You want to overfill the area so when you sand it down, it will be perfectly smooth and level with the rest of the dresser. For the drawer repair, no Bondo was needed. I used this Titebond glue and I added some glue in between the drawer face and the veneer, and I let gravity do the work. When I noticed it wasn't going down 100%, I just used a craft stick to push the glue down in there, and then it got clamped with these furniture clamps. I let it dry for about an hour and a half, and the drawers were perfect. Once all the repairs were made, I gave this entire piece a scuff sanding with my orbital sander and a 120 grit sandpaper. Then it was on to priming. To avoid any bleed through on this piece, I primed with BIN shellac-based primer, which is my favorite. I know I've said that in so many videos, and I'll include a card up above on how I use it and also in the description down below because I made a video for that as well. I love this stuff. When in doubt of bleed through or stains coming through or any sort of odor coming through, BIN shellac-based primer to the rescue. The funny thing is that this dresser got extra protection because I ended up using silk all-in-one mineral paint in the color White Cap. And this is a paint that has a built-in primer with a built-in top coat. But I guess, an extra coat of primer never hurts. But if I had known I was going to use the silk, I could have eliminated the one step. I decided to spray the White Cap onto this dresser just because I wanted a super smooth finish. That said, this paint brushes on beautifully. It levels gorgeous. So if you don't have a sprayer, you want a brush-free, stroke-free, beautiful finish, this silk all-in-one mineral paint can definitely achieve that. That said, I love spraying with this. I do dilute it with maybe about, not a whole lot of water, maybe like 5%. I thin it out with a little bit of water and it sprays so beautifully. Because I had used the BIN shellac-based primer first, one coat actually did a beautiful job at covering this dresser. However, I was having so much fun, I just thought, well, I might as well do another coat. I might as well just throw another coat on, and it looked great. Now for some black and white fun. I found this vintage floral transfer from Bells and Whistles in my stash. And even though the tube doesn't show that it has black and white transfers in it, it actually does on the back. So I needed 2 sheets to do the full top drawer, and it turned out beautiful. I cut out the part of the design that I really liked. While the backing was still on, I tested it on the top drawer and kind of figured out my design and layout. And then using the rub-on method, I started rubbing on the floral transfer. These transfers come with an application, I don't know, you call it craft stick or wood stick, I'm not sure what to call it, but you just actually rub until the backing or design removes itself from the mylar plastic on the top. I believe at the time of this recording, these transfers are selling for anywhere between $20 and $25, I think $22 or something. But believe me, they go a long way. They really do, especially if you're cutting out and using just aspects of the design that you need. I still have 3 full sheets, the colored sheets that are in this tube, along with some black and white florals as well. After the drawer was all decked out with this vintage black and white floral design, I went ahead and added new modern hardware. This black hardware really pulled the entire piece together and made a huge difference on the modern look. I love the jet black handles in contrast to the pristine white finish, and I can't wait to hear what you think. While I'm rubbing these transfers on, I want to share 6 black and white furniture ideas with you to create a gorgeous high contrast look. Because I used to think that getting this look was all about using a lot of black and white paint, but there are so many other ways to achieve this striking look. And it doesn't have to be all or nothing. It can be, as in this example, a small portion of a dresser. So my number 1 tip is use a black and white transfer to create a black and white design. This is really easy to do, and of course they look very, very crisp and pristine on a dresser or any type of furniture. Number 2, stencil in black on a white painted dresser. It's a little trickier to paint a dresser black and then stencil white because you'll need a few more coats. But if you were to paint a dresser or a piece of furniture white and stencil in black, it creates a very high dramatic look. Number 3, use black hardware on white or white hardware on black. Number 4, use black and white drawer liners for a dramatic surprise. Number 5, paint your dresser in black and add a white textured paper, such as a wallpaper, onto the drawers. And speaking of paper, number 6, use decoupage or rice paper to add some black and white elements. So here's how it all came together. Here is the before. And here is the after. I love this black floral design on this crisp white pristine dresser. Along with the black hardware, I think it gives it a really modern, lovely look. For the cost breakdown, I spent $50 on this Restore dresser. The white cap silk paint sells for around $25, and I used 3/4 of a 16-ounce jar. The transfer sells for around $20, and I still have plenty for another 1 or 2 makeovers. And let's say $5 for maybe a little bit of Bondo or any other little supplies I used. So that's a total of $100 for this makeover. And I will probably sell this piece for between $325 and $350. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this dresser makeover and it gave you some inspiration and some ideas for your furniture makeovers. If so, feel free to give it a like or a comment down below, thumbs up. You can also find me on all my socials and over at salvagedinspirations.com, where I have over 500 furniture painting tutorials teaching you how to make your furniture beautiful. I also have DIY projects to help you stage and style your painted furniture. So until next time, and feel free to subscribe before you go and hit that bell so you get notifications when I upload my next YouTube video. Thank you so much for all of you who have supported this channel and are subscribed. I really, really appreciate it. Until next time, have a super day. Talk to you soon. Bye, guys.